Oh yeah.
So,
It's a long time.
I ripped my own man one time. Stole the ball from my own man. But I want to score too. But it got me to the point where iron sharpens iron. If once you get to a certain level, you always want to play against people that's better than you, that's gonna make you better. And then I found out in life too. That goes on in life. If you surround yourself with good people, you stay in a good position.
Absolutely.
You stay in a good position.
But hey, with growing up like that, when they bring you on the court, they're like, all right, little clock, let's play. You know, they shooting around, and you sitting there like, y'all gonna give me the ball? You better get in there and get that rebound. Yeah. Like, how am I gonna get a rebound? Like, everybody look, like 7 feet tall. So you sit there, you figure out, you're like, okay, he shoots the ball hard, so the ball goes back real hard. So you learn to box out, and when that ball hit that rim, you break. It's a track meet. You get that ball, man. Ain't nothing like your first rebound with a group of people like your father. Man, when they used to come to the court, man, like, come on, let's go. And like, I ain't gonna never get a rebound. You get that one rebound you hit, all right, look like go do it again. Like, all right, I like that feeling. Okay, now let's go.
And once
take two dribbles to the right,
you do it over and over and over again.
But kids don't really do that no more.
They don't
go to the park and play. I grew up in Chicago, so we used to travel around to parks. You know, we got our 5 or 6 or 7 of us, and we going over here, and we play till we lose or something, and we go to this park. You know,
that's because the OGs don't want to be bothered with these YNs.
Yeah,
that's
times change.
It's true. But like I said,
it shouldn't be like that. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're right.
Because there's so much wisdom we could give them instead of just run. I never run away from one of these young cats because I know they just don't know.
They don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so if we just keep running away from them, it's just gonna get worse.
See, I don't know, like y'all grew up, because to be accepted by his father was an honor. But when we started playing in them project courts, the youngest get to 8, 9, 10. When they wake up finally and come out there, we sit on that rail, and it's like watching a professional game. And then we go to the monkey bars and play. Y'all remember the monkey bars, do y'all?
Yeah.
You get the monkey bars, man, you get 3 guys out there playing just as hard as we was in the NBA or something.
But you just played.
You just kept playing.
I'm gonna tell you something.
They don't like them East Chicago court.
Yeah. Because I was talking to Coach Ala a couple days ago, and he was talking about when he worked with the little guys, he's passing out jerseys, he passed out the number 2. Right. And he was talking about one of the kids was happy he had number 2 because of your mark.
Yeah.
And I told Coach Young, I said, Coach, that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, you want that number. Like what's Gary Roosevelt's traditional number? Used to be 13. 13. Everybody got 13.
Because this is the thing, you just told him it was an honor for you when you recognized his daddy gave you the opportunity to play.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I can speak for Coach Fu, my cousin. Look, when we was coming up, it was y'all. Bum, Chevy, Doc Bones, Jokes.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, then for food, it had to be King Man, Wayne.
Honestly, with me, coming up from my neighborhood, I didn't ever get a chance to go to Boston.
Okay.
Honestly, that hurt my heart. That hurt.
We all feel.
I tell people to this day, man.
Only person
I'm a Cardinal by law.
You been crying.
I'm a Cardinal by law.
Come in.
I'm a senator by nature. By law, I'm a Cardinal.
Yeah, that's the only person they want to be like was Chevy. I ain't never forget when he missed that layup, dog. When he turned that ball.
Hey, Bob, when he threw it to Asbury in the regional.
He
didn't miss a layup. He did like this.
He gave it to him.
I was sitting there and I'm like, yeah, we got this game won. Chevy bringing the ball off the pen.
Yeah.
Asbury got the ball to look.
And he did that before, who was that who did that at Georgetown? Okay. Was that Michael Jackson?
Freddie Brown.
It was Freddie Brown.
yeah.
Freddie Brown.
He did that before Freddie Brown did. He was Freddie Brown before Freddie Brown.
Central, I mean, Roosevelt won that game, man. He just gave that big motherfucker, he went,
What you
fouled
were
him.
saying, my thing was getting to Washington wearing either 21 or 22.
That's what, yeah.
Because that was AL and Rookie.
Yeah.
That was our thing in you know, kids in the drumming. And you get to, as a guard, you better wear 21 or 22. And out of everybody in the neighborhood, I only think of one person that didn't wear 21 or 22. That was Ezell Foster. He wore 20. But that was something he chose to do on
That
his
little boy like joke and go.
That was something, and I asked him, I said, well, dude, when Keita left, when Keita graduated, why you didn't grab 21? He said, because I had already made 20.
Yeah. He made his own identity. See, y'all way too young to realize like what the real rival was between Roosevelt and Washington.
Hey man, I
70s, Roosevelt, they didn't have the best team, they had the best players. Jim Bradley was Magic Johnson back in the 70s. Washington, when they won 71, my sister graduated, I was at every game. It was like a professional game. 21-22, fastest guard in the state. They pressured you 94 feet. Turkovich. What's the starter? They had a roster Bridgman. They averaged 100 points.
They say
Without a three. They ran like Marvin ran. They would put so much pressure on you, turn the ball over before half court.
they call them boys the University of Washington.
They were
They
gone.
used to run.
Undefeated, 2 years in a row. And then when his Washington was battling Drake, man, you talking about some physical game. They want to give it an inch. I mean, boom, boom, boom. But Washington had the better team. Roosevelt had the better player. But then Drake, you know, that's something. When you got a better team, it makes you look a lot better, even though y'all on the same level. So Washington was always winning. So Roosevelt didn't get the notoriety Washington did. But them schools, man, they were
They put up some
full. And one more thing, best gym in the state, country, or whatever was Washington High School. That gym, it was built perfect for basketball. And Michael Jordan's first game now.
It was only 2 bad spots in that whole gym. That's if you the last 3 rows over the basket.
Yeah.
Okay. If you went up to the top behind the basket, you only saw 3/4 of the game. But if you at the top, you only gonna see from the free throw back.
But that's your fault because you got there late.
Yeah.
That's the only seat available.
And that's how they built Central.
Yeah, and Central is much worse than Central.
Yeah.
Because what people don't realize, if you look at, you remember Washington's baskets went into the ground, so they needed their clearance for the people on the back of the basket. They needed their clearance. So the people in the balcony, 3-4 rows up, can still see the whole game. But at Central, the baskets go up
That bar.
and when you sit in the first row, once that ball get past the volleyball line coming in your direction, the game disappears. All you can do is depend on the clock and the world crowd. You might find out what happened later on. Because once that ball got below that volleyball line, that was a done deal. And I was in 91 when I had the pleasure of going to see Glenn and them play. It was a sellout crowd. I got there, I had to go upstairs. And I missed a lot of plays that happened below that volleyball line. And to this day, I tell people, I tell every athletic director that I had the opportunity to work with, hey, make sure you get them side to side. Because them there, that's the worst place to see a basketball game. All right? And that's the one thing when you say that about Washington, it was a much better viewpoint. But like you said, if you get there late, that's your fault. If you get way up there watching. Because you had to be there by the JV game. Halftime.
I want to ask this question to coaches. Out of all the professional athletes that we had come to East Chicago, professional, how many titles we have with them? I only count 4. Jefferson, Reggie Pettis, Tony Harris, Kenny Lofton.
How many titles?
Which many titles?
I mean, just championships in their respective sport.
None of them won.
None of Kenny ain't got no.
Kenny don't get a ring?
He got no World Series
They
ring.
got a World Series? So it's
Oh,
just
you
Jeff-
mean in the pro?
In pro,
Pro
yeah.
level? Okay.
Kenny ain't got none? I thought he got one Cleveland.
He got the World Series ring. He appeared in the World Series. They ain't win.
Anyway, so we got Jefferson, Pettis, Tony Harris, and who else? Help me out. In the 80s, nobody, 90s, early 90s?
Second,
Somebody
you
got
got
one?
Stoddard.
He got one?
He won
National champion.
national championship. No, he won
Yeah,
professional
Turk.
baseball.
He won the World Series.
Yeah, he played basketball.
Turk got a national
Pro
championship.
for
You
big
talking
years.
professional, not
I say
college.
professional. No, I don't think Junior got one.
No, he didn't because he was on the Bucks. They wasn't
No
there.
Adele or nothing, no. Duke
They-
Florence,
Adele
nothing?
Adele might have
won
been for football.
football. Adele won
Cowboys.
football coming out of college.
Oh,
But
so
I'm
he's
saying
He
professional.
didn't go basketball because
No, he played football.
he tried out for the Dallas Cowboys
Yeah.
at wide receiver. He was a second to the last one cut.
Yeah. So
KK
only,
didn't
like
like
this.
Stoddard. Well, if you want to go ABA, I think Bradley won with the Kentucky Colonels. I
Okay,
think.
so it's Bradley. No Bridgman?
Bridges,
No.
he was on the Bucks. They weren't doing shit. That's about it. Nah,
I think Tony got one overseas though.
Yeah, Tony, that's all.
Tony got one overseas.
if you go back in like in the 40s, 50s, 60s, I can't recall that, but I'm quite sure we didn't have professional athletes that had made it from here, but I don't know what the record is.
Okay.
I ain't that old. I mean, I am old, but not that old.
So what was it Cantrell in the 60s? Cantrell played with was it Kansas Russell?
Kansas Russell at Michigan.
At Michigan, yeah.
Okay.
They just did a special too.
They
True
can't trade.
basketball, that New York special. They were talking about the Knicks when they won the 2 years they won. Dick Barnett, Gary Roosevelt. He was one of the key pieces to them winning.
But see, that's the thing. It all comes full circle when we talking about this word success. Think about all that success you just got to talk.
And that's just in Chicago. We ain't talking about Gary.
Agreed.
But that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's why. Failure is a funny word.
It all depends on how you view who's viewing.
There's levels to it.
Oh yeah.
There's levels to it.
Yeah.
Because I try to tell kids to this day, the most important thing you got in this world is your name. If you mess you can mess your name up in minutes, seconds, whatever. O.J. Simpson is a prime example.
They dog that.
Okay? But what I'm saying
It's gonna
is,
affect his kids.
you put yourself in situations, you can mess your name up in seconds. Right?
And see the one thing I
You know
heard.
what the funny thing you said that though, Snoop? And this on the negative side, my boy, he's a gangbanger. Black dude. He was in the top notch. His son ended up being a junior. When they found out that he was a junior, and he wasn't even know, but it made him become into the game because of Mom was jumping on him just because of his dad.
Yeah.
And it's like, you right. The name you said. And it's like, he had to fight. And he just got out of jail maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah, that's the most important thing you got.
Because,
bro.
and honestly, he was a good kid. But he was pushed into that way of life because of who he was a junior.